Welcome. Hi, Terry. But before we start, don't forget to click on the link in the comments section. It'll take you straight to our sponsors, Human Nutrients. Terry, I can't remember who sent me it this morning. I think it was Aaron or Liam. I can't remember. Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather is signed for 2026. I don't know if you know. Have you seen it online today?
Yeah, I saw the promo for Mayweather's Instagram.
It's
Um,
Vegas.
well, at least neither guy has to travel too far to get to the fight.
Yeah, it's I don't know what to make of it, mate. I mean, Mike Tyson's knocking on a bit now, and so's Floyd. Do you think that they should be doing stuff like that?
You know, the same people who criticize it are the same people that wouldn't mind watching Carl Froch fight Darren Till. Do you know what I mean? Like we all have to pick our poison in life. I will watch it, but I understand what this is about. This is just both guys, making sure that their kids are looked after when they're gone.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not a sporting encounter, is it? It's there's a bigger picture here, folks. And if you notice, everything's a bit nostalgic now, isn't it?
yeah,
If you look at football, we're nostalgic for the days of JJ Okocha. We're nostalgic for the days of Benito Carboni. We're nostalgic for the days of Paolo Di Canio. We miss the days of Tony Adams, Sol Campbell, Stefan Encho, um, Sammy Hippier, guys like Didi Hamann. You know where we think those guys brought character to football? We're nostalgic for that now, aren't we? And if you look at music, we're nostalgic for stuff. Oasis just made a few million quid off nostalgia. And once they've done it, the Verve are going to reform and go on tour. Blur are going to go on tour. Everything's about nostalgia now. The public just want that time in their life when they felt good. And that's all Mayweather and Tyson are selling, is that feeling of, let's take you back to the 2000s when you could afford to buy a house and you could drink on on a 10 or 20 quid, and you could go to a club, pull a bird, go home and be all right. People are just nostalgic for that at the moment. I don't know why, but I think this is all just tapping into that.
What you mean? People are fed up of going into a pub, getting free drinks, a glass of wine, a pint of Guinness, and a double gin, and paying 28 quid.
Mate, that's like 50 quid down here.
Yeah, it's a liberty in it. What's going on now with prices and stuff?
Yeah, and I'm telling people, you guys are all there with your stupid flags complaining about people in hotels. That's not our problem right now.
Yeah.
Our problem at the moment, and we'll come back to the boxing in a second, I think it all links in. Our problem at the moment is that rich people are just taking money from poor people so they can be even richer and people can be even poorer. And nobody's complaining about that.
Yeah.
We forget this, Russ. Everything the government spends money on is our money. The rich don't really pay taxes. They've got accountants to make sure they don't. It's us who are paying taxes. So they're taking money off us to do stuff we never asked them to do. But who gets the money? All their donor mates get the money. The rich get the money. So when the government spends 15 billion on an NHS computer, we don't get that money. A bunch of rich guys get that money.
Yeah.
And so when people tell me that the problem in this country is people coming in off boats, I'm like, no, the boat people aren't taking your money. Go and talk to the people who are. And that's what we're nostalgic for. Yeah. When we used to be able to have money and you could save a few quid, and you could have dreams about living in this country and, leaving something to your kids. And in about 20 years, you won't be able to do that. That's why I take to the streets. But what do I know, Russ?
Yeah, it's craziness, isn't it? But getting back to the what we were talking about, you Mayweather, Mike Tyson, Froch, Darren Till. You might as well put me and Sam Jones in, haven't you?
Yeah, I'd watch that.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Me having to fight with one hand behind my back, or maybe two hands, and I'll slay him with my cock. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
But
God.
he's all mouth, isn't he?
Well, that'll be handy in that fight then.
Yeah, he's all mouth. I don't mind him actually, but Max always gives him loads of stick on WhatsApp, and I mean sticks it to him all the time, Sam. And
I just think he's an idiot. Now, I met Sam Jones
Hey,
like when we were all meant to be doing the Haymaker thing. It's about 2017, 2016, 2017.
when he just burst onto the scene.
Yeah, I didn't like him then, and it's not like a personal thing. I was just like, this guy hasn't done his boxing education. Do you know what I mean? And I just felt that way, and my opinion hasn't shifted since.
Well, if you are slick, the right people in boxing, you can get on.
Yeah, like you said, he's all mouth.
It is all mouth, mate. But when you've got him running round behind the scenes, sticking it to Dennis's shows and that, well, let's see him go put a show on. It's like Flex used to stick it to Dennis behind the scenes to the chosen few regarding his shows and that. Well, my answer is simple. Flex is a millionaire with what he had left off his old man. All his brothers and sisters are all millionaires. Why don't they put a show on, put their hands in their pocket? That's what I say. When Dennis were doing them drive-ins and this and that and losing money on shows and that, but just having a go, I didn't see anybody else coming up with them ideas. Did you, Terry?
Nah, and I'll give Dennis credit, man. He's always been willing to try stuff.
Yeah. I know for a fact when I worked for Dennis, we were putting deposits on big boats to put shows on and losing deposits. People don't see what goes on behind the scenes. Dennis likes to roll the dice. Well, why don't Flex roll the dice if he's got a problem with small old boxing and people need to be doing this and need to be doing that? Dennis should do this. He should do that. Well, you do it. You do it.
Yeah, I'm surprised Dennis hasn't tried to buy Sheffield Wednesday.
He has tried to buy Sheffield Wednesday, and that he's got a consortium at the moment behind the scenes looking at this one because he got pushed out last time, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? By some Chinese guy or something bought it, didn't he, or whatever?
Oh, Thai guy from Thailand.
Thailand or whatever. Well, some noodle magnate bought it, didn't he?
Is
Some,
it seafood, isn't it? Then they do like prawns and stuff.
I don't know. I know. Or was that the one at Blackburn?
Thank you. That was chickens.
Either way, right? Dennis is a winner. I know me and Dennis have our issues, and we can say what we say. But if he ever bumps into me, Dennis, he'll always buy you a pint or sit and have a crack with you. Dennis is a winner, right? But I think this football one is an hard one because it's you've got to have billions to play at that game, haven't you?
Nowadays, yeah. Oh my god, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
Uh,
almost at the point now where you can't buy a football club on your own. If you look at what's going to happen in the next wave of takeovers, it's not going to be one person buying a football club anymore. It's going to be like 4 or 5 people having to put 1 billion up and then buying the club together.
yeah, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what happens moving sideways. Froch, Darren Till, what do you think?
Ah, mate, your hero would get splattered.
What about hero? His CV, he's my hero when I look at his CV. But as regards men of honor and keeping your word and all that, no, 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 no. But
Darren Till will keep his word and he will put Carl to sleep.
I don't think he puts Carl to sleep. I've just somebody just sent me a video of Froch on bag this morning in his gym in Garden.
Yeah, he's old.
Oh God. Uh, we can all hit bags, can't we, for 60 seconds? It don't mean anything, does it really? Somebody hitting a bag, what does that mean?
48 years old. Every punch is gonna hurt you. Everyone's gonna hurt.
Yeah,
You're
what
gonna
I
feel
can't
everything.
understand, Terry, on this, we've got a Hall of Famer, four-time world champ, whatever, British outright, he's done all that, multi-millionaire, and he's brassing himself off to fight a novice boxer who's a world title or what a world title contender at MMA, but he's done boxing. I don't mind Till, to be honest, but he's doing boxing now, and he's trying to pinch a few quid. Froch doesn't need a few quid, but you've got Froch there camera jockeying himself off or brassing himself off going to Misfits shows, right? Could you imagine Marvin Hagler going to a Misfits show, hoping to get called out by somebody like Darren Till? Could you imagine that?
Remember, I said this to you a long time ago. This image people have of Carl Froch of being this this warrior, this alpha male. I said it's all a fiction. I said Carl's the guy that was good at boxing, but if you strip boxing away from Carl, Carl's just an insecure man that wants people to love him. That's all he is.
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's see what happens. But if he doesn't take the Darren Till fight, what will that say about Carl Froch if he doesn't take it, Terry?
Just says he got too much money.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't compare their fighting CVs. Carl's on a different level to Darren Till. But Carl's 48. Darren Till is not 48.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a strange one, isn't it, mate?
How many years has Carl been on the settee, Russ? 11?
11 and a half year on settee and he ain't got a date. So it could be 12 year out at ring.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Well, it remains to be seen, doesn't it?
Exciting times ahead, Porky. That's why we love the sport.
Yeah. Well, people are texting me Angela Rayner's resigned.
She didn't have a choice, mate. You
Well,
can't be the housing minister and be
Conservatives
fiddling.
doing the same thing. They didn't resign.
It's a little bit different, isn't it? Like if a Tory MP had done this, Angela Rayner would have been the first one saying they need to resign. So I
She
think she
get
had to
paid
go.
off, Terry, now, or was she still be an MP?
So she resigned as a minister, so she's still an MP.
Yeah.
Now, will she resign as deputy leader of Labour? I don't know. If she does, that's going to cause problems for Starmer. If she doesn't, it still causes problems for Starmer because the stench of her being corrupt isn't going to go away.
Well, it is what it is. David Adeleye is with the Dark Lord. Where does he go now? He's just had a loss.
Um, I'm not a fan of people changing trainers too often, right?
I know.
And I've said for a long time, sometimes you can't fix someone. David Adeleye is a guy who should just be free to have a scrap, man. That's what he'll enjoy. Just let David Adeleye have a scrap. Turn him into the guy that he wants to be, right? He wants to be a guy like Joe Frazier that just brings violence. All this trying to be an Adam Booth type boxer, it ain't gonna work for him.
No.
Nah.
Do you think he sort of like fought like Groves used to fight? With that crouching thing?
Well, that's all Adam Booth knows what to teach, right?
Is it?
Yeah. Go to Adam Booth.
Do you remember when Kent used to do that? And I used to say, Kent, you sound like you're underwater. Go to Adam Booth, he's the best, the Dark Lord. Adam Booth, the Dark Lord. I remember doing that impression on phone to Dennis, Adam Booth, and Richard Towers were all in this pub or restaurant or wherever. And Dennis put loudspeaker and he goes, guess who I've got here? Porky. I goes, who? He goes, Adam Booth. I went, go to Adam Booth. And I went into full Adam Booth mode. And Adam Booth was absolutely howling, mate. Howling. So he loves it, really, doesn't he?
The Dark Lord.
The Dark. Oh, just about to say then. The Dark Lord, Terry.
See?
Hey?
How
Talk
did it
sport.
go? Don't talk over me when I'm doing me Adam fucking
No, you
Booth, man.
talk over me, Max, when I'm doing my Adam Booth impression. Go to Adam Booth.
When I'm doing me Adam Booth impression, no fucker talk over me.
Yeah, but you know what it is? I was a bit more impatient in them days. Now I'm laid back here now with one arm. Like, you know what? When you get in this situation, I feel vulnerable. What's it all about? You know what I mean? Why get stressed out over stuff when it's out your hands? But okay, somebody said to me that TalkSport are having a shake up in the boxing department. Right. Well, they say this, don't they? Every September, October, because the deals come up because they renew them, don't they?
Yeah.
Do you think they'll get rid of Juggiers Oliver for his cheerleading of anything to do with Finchley? Derek Chisora, Don Charles, anything like that. Do you think they'll get rid of him for that, or do you think he's the perfect foil for Judge Jordan, who obviously doesn't know that much about boxing, but makes out he does?
Yeah, Spencer Oliver's a decent enough guy, actually. I don't mind him around boxing.
Yeah,
Simon Jordan, I feel differently about. I think he's an idiot.
yeah. Well, he's spent
Yeah.
there and done it, hasn't he?
Yeah, like his whole family, the Oliver family, are a boxing family.
Yeah, but he lets his son down with his bias, doesn't he?
Everyone's got their bias. Look at your bias towards Froch.
No, well, oh, you can't help but not be
Yeah.
regarded as CV tell, can you?
Oh, there you go. See?
No, can't help myself, can I? Right, getting back to Juggy as Oliver though, when he's stood there at a press conference and they don't know that they're being recorded, and he's stood there with the gad, and they're saying, Anthony, Anthony, you were beating the best pound for pound boxer in the world up for 10 rounds. And then within 5 minutes, Joshua broke down in press conference, didn't he? So I don't know if he thought he'd thrown it away or not, but I never really saw Joshua in that fight as a close fight. Did you? They were saying it were neck and neck going into the last two, or what on earth?
No.
So, do you know what I mean? I don't know. But it is what it is, isn't it? So, okie dokie. Uh, we'll finish off on the middleweight. Sorry, the women uh, at the moment. Do you think, Terry, that women's boxing is now, it's more or less cooked?
Well, everyone's trying to get an MVP, aren't they? They're all trying to side with Jake Paul.
Yeah, yeah,
So Jake Paul's going to be the guy that kind of Eddie Hearns women's boxing. If
yeah.
he can't make it work, it won't work ever.
Yeah, well, he'll have to fight on cards, won't he, to beef him up, won't he?
Yeah, this is the real moment of truth for what he's doing.
I mean, how he's slipped into boxing, you've got to give him his credit. He's found a niche, he's found an angle to get in that people have been looking at for years, and he's just blown it in half, and he's palled Turkey up now, hasn't he? I can see him and Turkey and Dana White being a force, and the rest of them just being also runs. Can you?
100%.
I mean, I can even see them nicking Moses a Toma at some point, and Francis Warren doing IFL interviews saying we're taking legal action. What do you think?
Like the way that nothing's impossible now. That's a good and a bad thing at the same time, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
we want a bit of certainty in boxing because then we can kind of invest, but we also want a surprise every so often, so we got something to talk about. But right now, just everything's up in the air.
Yeah, isn't it? It's all a bit of a mess in it, really.
Sadly,
Do you blame Jake Paul and people like these influencer people, Terry, or do you think do you blame the boxing establishment and boxing fans?
hey, so I'll go back to the genesis of all of this because that's when I met KSI. It would have been like what 2017, and he
Being on
fought. Was
Spencer Oliver's show.
no. He used to train at the lodge.
Oh yeah,
So that's how that's and I remember hearing all of this stuff, what they were gonna do. And I remember just going, and I said at the time, I said, good luck, mate. Because if you can do boxing without boxing, you're gonna change boxing forever. And how true that's been. Because not once has KSI come into boxing to beg for validation from boxing fans. He's like, nope, I'll do what I'm doing over here. And it's just boxers trying to get involved.
yeah, yeah. I see where you're coming from, mate. It's I think, and people who are close to me, they think that boxing in the next 12 months is going to go one way or the other.
It's going to become a big niche sport. Like it's just going to become super, super niche. Like people won't even pay attention to it anymore.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see, aren't we? We're going to see Fruity get sentenced today, doesn't he?
Go to Steffi Ball.
Oh, just
He's the best.
he's the new Dark Lord, HMP Wakefield, Love Lane, West Yorkshire.
Is that where they're going to put him?
Now, you'd be listen, if he's got any sense, he'll try to get in Loudon Grange because you get a shower there, a telly, a fridge, and in a kettle in your cell, a PlayStation you can have, and loads of perks. And there's a phone on wall in there as well, so you'll get a phone on wall in your cell. On obviously working off a pin number every phone call recorded. He's not that stupid to talk stupidness on phones again, is he? But that's where he should go if he's got any sense. But whether he gets there or not, I don't know. You've got to really arse lick to get there. But it remains to be. It's only right corner from Froch's. But he should maybe go there if he wants to have a cushy sentence because he's going to be doing a big one, isn't he? So, but I won't
Well, I'm
like
hoping
this.
they give him 25. Yeah, hopefully he gets 25 to life.
Well, this is how you've got to look at it, right? Somebody from my village got 12 years for the same charge, that in crypto, and he went guilty. Right? Same record as Steffi, no drugs on his record. He went guilty and got a 12. If Steffi gets a 12 and he ran a trial, that kid from Edlington's got a grounds for appeal, hasn't he? Right? So they're
Yeah.
not gonna, the judge isn't just gonna give Steffi any less than everybody else. They'll know who's been sentenced to what, and he'll know not to put himself in a situation where it goes to high court and they say, "What you give this lad this sentence for when all the rest of them got that?" So the yardstick is 16 years because he ran a trial. He would have been told all this at his committal. So it remains to be seen, but he'd be gone for a few years. But after you've done your second year anyway, you become accustomed to it and the time flies anyway. It becomes like your own little world. You get into a routine. But he's got a lot of dark moments ahead of him. And I won't wish that on anybody, really. I won't wish it on anybody unless they were a fucking nonce or a grasshopper out. But it remains to be seen. He shouldn't have been messing about with that stuff. You know, he denied it all way. And at the end, he's pleaded guilty and said, I blame it on COVID. So he were guilty all along. So there'd be no mercy from that judge. None whatsoever, mate.
He
Because
doesn't deserve it.
that judge will have his peers as well. So I don't think there'll be any. All that about he's a pillar at community and that. Well, how is he? How can you be a pillar at community if you're doing that in your community? Do they think these judges don't believe that you can get as many boxers or boxing people or media guys to stand up and do character references in court? It don't mean shit. It's a bit like McCracken and Joshua. Joshua's a different kettle of fish, wasn't it? It were a 9 bar of weed and he'd give a smacker a crack. That were it. He wasn't flooding streets with Class A, were he? In a mining village. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But Joshua got hours, didn't he? But this sentence don't carry hours, does it? What he's done for? It's a case of show us a bit of light at the end of the tunnel. The barrister will say, but they're hoping for a 7, aren't they? I've heard on grapevine.
Yeah, I think he'll probably do 9.
If he could get a 9,
Yeah.
if he
Yeah, he'll
gets
get a
a
proper
9,
9
mate,
bar.
there'll be riots on the streets in that area. I can assure you of that, mate. He'll have to run gauntlet if he gets a 9, because there'll be people in there saying, "Well, how come you got a 9 and I ran a trial and got 16, or he went guilty and got 12?" So it remains to be seen what he's going to get, but let's see. It'll all come out in the wash. So I don't know. I don't know, but I'd have thought about 14, 15 years or something.
Wow.
But that's what you get, and people when they've never been it, Nick, it's all new to them, being drug dealers and having money and have a fist and blah blah blah, and then going and telling everybody your business, everybody knowing all your business, and you're doing that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So it's your own people that knock you up because they tell somebody else and that person tells somebody and blah blah blah. You can't see it that you're hanging yourself and the net closes in, but it takes years to do it. You see what I mean? You only need a break in that chain where people get a bit jealous. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
before you know where you are, they're ringing Crime Stoppers, aren't they? Or they're hanging you. Or you're just showing off too much in an area and the police see you showing off. They think, look at him here with all these
I,
cars and blah blah blah, living on in a boat council house. Do you
you know,
see?
I think, right, I think once they got the Encro, and I believe EncroChat was a police op from the start.
Yeah,
Yeah. I tell people this, they don't believe me. I just always tell them, if I ran an encrypted phone service, I control all the updates. So you can't put any malicious code in the update. I would know before anybody else did.
yeah,
So whoever pushed the update that put the spyware on the phones knew what they were doing. So were clearly law enforcement themselves. That's what I believe. And
well,
I remember my ex-girlfriend's dad, like he's into all of that, buying and selling.
mm,
And he asked me about EncroChat. I said, don't touch it. Remember telling me, don't touch it.
mm.
It's a honey trap. And they had something straight. It's a honey trap. Do not do business with anyone that uses an encrypted phone. And he was like, how'd you get rid of data? And I said, you send messages on gaming platforms. That's what I told him to do. I said, get an account on chess.com, work out who all your users are, and that's where you do all your messaging because they don't check.
Well, look, they've got all these fast cars, all these drug dealers. Why not go get in your fast car and drive 40 minutes and go meet the person? That's what I say. And do it at night time, 2 in the morning. There's no top road, and you can get there and back quick. And that's it. You don't need to be chatting, sending stupid messages about bricks and a full bird and all that. Yeah, that means kilo. Yeah, just bring me a full brick. What, people think you're a fucking bricklayer? Do me a favour. Do you know? No, people who think they're streetwise and they're not. But like I said in that other video to you, didn't I? All these diehards that are friends to the end and I'll wait for you. Let's see where you are in 12 months. Or I always say this. He's been locked up 6 months. No, 7 months now. He's been locked up 7 months. If you've sent him a tenner a month in, that's 70 quid. Search into your brain and say, well, how much have I sent him in 7 months? I bet it in a fiver. So it is what it
Ooh,
is. So good gunners, a lot of good gunners in boxing. Well, let's see how many people after a couple of years are willing to put up with all that stripping off, squatting on mirrors, driving 2 hours there, 2 hours back, and all that messing about to see somebody losing a full day. And then you've got to pay the magazine and paper bill and send them some money in and write to them and take phone calls off them at night. Listen, it peters out. Oh, and most people who get out after a 16 stretch have got no to get out to family, no nothing, no money. That's that kind of environment for you. So get ready. Well, I'm just glad it ain't me because I know that he's got some dark clouds to overcome now for over a long, long time. So I'm just glad it ain't me, kid, and I'm glad I'm not involved in all like that.
mate, are you hearing that Lewis Crocker failed the test for cocaine?
Am I hearing it? Yeah, I did hear it. Yeah, but I hadn't seen anything on boxing scene.
And they're going to let the fight carry on.
And they let the fight carry on. Wow. Well, he's obviously had the coke to make weight, hasn't he? Well, they have, haven't they? If you test for cocaine, it's usually in fight week, isn't it? Nobody's ever tested for cocaine, have they? In camp, it's usually on the fight week, and it's usually
Yeah,
people that wanted to make weight. Although James Toney tested for it, didn't he, when he fought John Ruiz? He tested
yeah.
afterwards for it though, didn't he? And so I don't know why he had that in his system. I don't know because he didn't have to make weight. But I don't know, Lewis Cocker or whatever. But Liam Cameron tested for it twice, 2 fights on trot, and it were to make weight, obviously. Do you know what I mean? So it is what it is. It's a dirty sport, isn't it? But should people, though, Terry, who've tested for recreational drugs still be banned?
In my opinion, no. But there's also a risk that someone figures out how to turn those drugs into PEDs. So they'll find a way to make them improve performance.
Mm, just to be seen. Okie dokie. Well, listen, I know we've gone 20 minutes over. I know you're busy with meetings, but I hope you're well, Terry. Have a great
You,
weekend.
you too, mate. Have a good weekend, eh? Speak to you soon.
Listen, I love you to death. Take care, pal.
Same
Cheers.
here, mate. You take care.
Right.
Bye.
Right. That was Terry Chappendama from Zimbabwe, living in, I can't say area, lives in London, but it's quite swanky. I wouldn't mind living there myself, but we're paying like 16 quid for a glass of wine. Okie dokie. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. I think that's about it, really. What are we on Friday? So it's fifth today, and that's 7 videos gone out. Well, that's not bad. We'll build it back up now. We'll get back on track. Make up for them couple of days. Should have Ellis on it next few days. I'm looking forward to having Kent on, Richard, Liam, Mark from Human Nutrients. That's about it. So, okie dokie. Well, peace out. Pop, pop, bang.